coming out of the Modern Warfare 2 beta, we've got a little bit of downtime before we jump back into the thick of things with a launch, and even before that, the early access for campaign starting on the 20th, which, come to think of it, how would you guys like to see that handled? Singular mission uploads here on the channel, a full multi-hour playthrough, cutscene-only approach, all in one. Genuinely curious and would love to hear how you guys want to see that content rolled out here on the channel. But anyways, in the meantime, we've got a bit of time to discuss some things that we didn't get around to during the beta, and today, I want to talk about some more weapons that look to be in the full launch of the game that were actually discovered in the beta build, but were not live to us. These weapons were discovered in a quickly patched offline gun game glitch on Xbox, showcasing a dozen new weapons that add to the list here of what's playable with the full build. Though, I wouldn't expect these to be the only weapons added in from beta to the launch of the game, but today we're breaking down those weapons, letting you know what you should look out for, how they'll be handled at launch, and what else we may be able to expect come the full launch of the game. So, as we go along, drop your thoughts down below. Are you looking forward to any weapon in particular? Anything you hope to see make the full launch of the game? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts below. But if you enjoyed the video, you'll find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing running all things Modern Warfare 2 leading up to the launch here, beyond, and of course with Warzone 2 and DMZ later on in the future. We'll keep you the day with absolutely any and everything you need to know. We're on that road to 500,000 subscribers, so if you'd like to join the community, I'd love to have you. That said, let's jump into it and talk about the new weapons we can expect to see at launch for Modern Warfare 2. So today's information comes from, again, an offline gun game glitch that was playable the day the Xbox beta was preloadable, but then it was swiftly patched and wasn't able to be done again in the beta, nor now. But capturing this the day of was creator Cetis, who ended up putting up a video of all the weapons that he found in this gun game. So while I can't include images or screenshots myself, I've seen others getting DMCA'd and copyright striked for this, so unfortunately I can't put it up on screen for you guys. The full link to his video with the firing and animations of said weapons will be linked below, and if I can get a card to pop up on screen, I'll have it there for easy access as well. But the weapons that we talk about today, these names are likely going to be changed in-game. Some actually we do already know of their in-game names based off of stuff that was data mined or leaked from the game files of the beta, or also that we saw back in some campaign missions that were shown behind the scenes at a June pre-reveal event with Infinity Ward. Now, for this, we learned about the weapons of the, and I'm gonna botch this, I know it, I apologize in advance, the PP-19 Vichas, the PP-19 Bison, known as the K-Block in-game from what we saw back in June, the Barrett MRAD, known in-game as the MCPR-30, the RPG-7, the Remington 870, the 725, the AK-103 and AK-105, the RPK, the SCAR-H, named the TAC-H in-game following that of the TAC-56, the MP7, that one's likely to be called the LMP if what we saw back in June still holds up, and finally the Desert Eagle. So a dozen new weapons that we learned about here that we know will be coming into the full version of the game and that were not playable in the beta, but also bolsters out that total number of weaponry on offer quite a bit more. I mean, we had 21 weapons in the beta build of the game, that's 12 more here with this, so bringing us to, as math dictates, 33 weapons, and that's not all that we'll end up seeing. There are other weapons that we've seen in-game during those June campaign missions and other stuff that we saw in trailers that are not a part of what we ended up seeing already, both in the beta and of these weapons leaked. So we will have more than 33 weapons, but really I think it's a matter of how many we'll have, and we'll come back to that in a second. Now, some of these weapons will actually kind of round out some of the more weapon platforms that we'll see in-game. Based off some estimations here, that PP-19 platform will have both variants of the PP-19 we mentioned. The AK platform looks to bolster out a handful of other weapons, 4 to 5, maybe even more here with that, with the known Kastov 74 that we saw in the beta, the now AK-105 and 103, that RPK, and then on top of that, the base AK-47, which we haven't seen in-game nor as a part of this leak, but it was a part of those missions again that we saw back in June. The TAC platform, this being your SCAR platform, but named differently, will have that TAC-56 at base, and then variants like the TAC-H, so we'll see maybe a couple of more here included on that. So just from the beta, it seems like our weapon offering is bolstered out quite a bit more, but the question then turns to, after these 12 weapons that we now know of, is that all we'll see for the full launch of the game and beyond with that full offering of the game? Now, my initial reaction is likely not. Now, how do we know that though? Well, firstly, surprisingly, not a whole ton really has been data mined that I've seen. Seems like for the first time and as long as I can remember that the beta build is as close to an independent build as it can be, as opposed to in the past, we've seen games actually data mined pretty much almost to their entirety from the beta builds. So kudos in that regard to Infinity Ward for kind of keeping it segmented where it's not the full game, just in a base package like that and segment it off. But at the same time, that's not to say that there hasn't been any leaks and data mines from the game files of the beta. I mean, we'll be talking about in the next day or two here some leaked camo challenges that came out of the beta so far, but for the most part, weaponry-wise, there wasn't a ton that got data mined by comparison. Now, my curiosity, though, goes to how much will we see actually on top of all of this? Like we mentioned, there are some weapons that we have not seen that were not leaked in the beta, that were not leaked of these weapons so far. Things like the AK-47 just out of base. That's another weapon here that we can add to that list. But when we have 21 weapons in the beta, 33 with these in total, that seems like a decent amount, right? But I mean, from a base perspective, we really didn't have a whole ton on offer during the beta. As we mentioned during the beta, the M4 and the Lockman 762 base weapons, with their weapon platforms, that accounted for 10 of the 21 weapons that we had overall. And then adding in the accounting of the AK-47 here and the AK platform beyond that, the TAC and the PP-19 platforms, I'm really curious to see how many weapons we'll end up seeing come the full launch of the game. The way the progression system works, I know it's kind of convoluted for some, but good lord, if they pull this off and there's 4 to 5 weapons per platform, and even if we have platforms for just half of the base weapons, that is an absurd total number of weapons we can have in game, assuming we're still on that 30 to 40 weapons at base that we've seen in the past. So you take 20 weapons of those and then add 4 to 5 sub weapons below that, we're talking 60, 70, 80, 90 weapons perhaps at its full launch of the game. So I'm really curious to see just how much actually does come of this, but there are still weapons missing that we have not seen either in-game or leaked accordingly. And truth be told, I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing how this all works out, where we have these sub weapons, because the way that it worked out in the beta, assuming things don't change from beta to launch on that weapon progression, it probably won't be something where it's too over the top in terms of taxing on time for ranking up weapons by comparison to the last couple of years, because when you looked at the weapon overall, each variation here and the max level, there was only about 20 to 22 weapon levels per variant here that we had. So each weapon family kind of seems like it's going to be going up to that normal 60 to 70 weapon level rank by a normal comparison to other weapons individually paired in the past. So it seems like we'll be getting more weapons, but for less progression out of it. And for that, I think that's a cool little twist on how they keep it fresh and how they can end up offering more without making us grind out way too much to rank up each individual weapon, especially when attachments and such are unlocked permanently, not only across various weapon categories like your optics, but also per individual weapon variant. You can put different things that you unlock with different variants on other variants in those platforms. So an interesting way to keep things engaging with the player, if you ask me, but for right now, that's where we're at here with this. Wanted to share this with you guys because 12 weapons coming out of this gun game glitch that was available on Xbox for a few short minutes during the beta's weekend 2 waiting period. You're taking 50% of the weapons that we knew about and then adding it on top of that list already. So pretty solid booster to that weapon total that we knew overall. So that's what we're gonna call it. Want to keep you guys in the loop. Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you guys looking forward to any weapon in particular? Anything out of this that stands out to you? Whatever the case, feel free to drop your thoughts. But if you enjoyed the video, you'll find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things in Modern Warfare 2. Again, a lot upcoming in the next month to 2 months here, so make sure you stick in here on the channel so you don't miss a single thing. But thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.